Ready?
It's ready.
Welcome, everybody, to the Course of Miracles group Thursday night Zoom. I am Chris Green. This is my lovely wife, the Reverend Reja Joy. Tonight, we are still in the Principles, Chapter 1, Part 1, the Principles of Miracles. We're going to read paragraphs 82 to 91.
That's right. Why?
Oh, I don't know. Do you like it when I'm real
Serious?
You like it when I'm real serious?
Yes, very serious.
Cool. That's not going to last very long. All right. If you would, it's paragraphs 82 to 91. If you would like to read tonight, do so, indicate somehow, and I will look down and I'll not look up, and Joy will read them off.
Okay, so I see Charles' hands up, and there you go. And Milan. And who's next? Oh, yeah, there's Blake. Janet. Janet wants to read. Okay. And Chica. Paula, did Paula put her hand up?
She walked away.
Oh, no, here she is.
Oh, she's back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paula?
In my book, it only goes up to there are only 50 miracle principles. You said
No,
80.
yeah, we're in a different
Paragraph 80, which is Principle 50.
What book are you in?
the original edition published by Course of Miracles Society, the one with the pearls on it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's totally different. Especially the first 5 chapters.
We're on Miracle
the
50.
pearls on it, did you say?
Pearls.
I think I have that.
Oh, good. And what'd you say, Charles?
So which Charles did I put?
Oh, of God.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
And
Reverend Jerry. Yes.
And then Charles Hall raised his hand too.
Oh, I took it down. I talk too much, but
you don't want to read? You don't want to read?
yeah, I do. There are 10 paragraphs. There are 10 of them, right? So I guess we need 10 readers.
No, we cycle. But yeah, do you want to read though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I
Okay.
eat and breathe this. I love this.
Yeah.
Read.
You do.
Okay.
Okay, so we got.
If you think you talk too much, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, right. There you go. And Paula, did you find it, hon?
No, I don't have it. I'm going to pass on reading tonight. I'll print it out for next week.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. You'll have to get our free mobile app, and so you can read it on your phone. Yeah. It's free, and it's got it. It's got everything, all 3 books. And it's on Apple or Android, and it's free. And yeah, so
it's called ACIMOE.
Yeah, you have to search ACIMOE and then get the one with it's the one with the pearls.
Hey, Goomba, you want to read?
Who? Oh, Reverend Jerry. Yes. You put your camera on.
There's the man of the hour.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, okay. I got that book.
Good to see you. You've been missing in action there's the pearls. There's the pearls.
No, but
Paula, hold it up.
Everybody's.
Jerry. Hold it up, Reverend Jerry. Paula, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Unmute, Paula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We have the t-shirt. You're muted. Okay.
Janet's got it.
Who did we not? Do you want to read everybody off and see who else wants to? Do we get everybody?
I can read, but I would like to do it in the beginning if we could.
Sandra?
Before you fall asleep. Is that yeah.
All right.
Oh,
I'll call you.
It's later for her, and she's tired.
Yeah.
Probably gets up really early. Okay,
like
good.
you.
Hundreds to the first. Okay,
Yeah.
And Jude.
I got this figured out,
Gonna gratefully listen. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay, Jude.
All right. Love your mountainscape still. That's cool.
Now, found the text. Okay, Christ mind. Yes, Christ mind. Thanks. The text here. Milan put in the chat. There's the link to the Christ mind. We have that in the reminder email that goes out. Paula.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Paula? Where'd she go?
There she is.
Oh, there she is. Paula, that reminder email that I sent, that's got a link that you can go to the reading right in your email.
I actually got
We
it.
got the app. You got the app. All right.
Or
Excellent.
a text.
Christ
right.
Mind, he is amazing guy. I personally sent him money for doing that. He just did it, with not asking for any money, and put our books up there with the audio. So it's what he just loves this stuff. So we funded him. So if you
Is this Sebastian you're talking about?
no, Christ Mind is it's a guy named Rick
Okay.
Mercer. I think it's Rick Mercer, and
Rick Mercer, yeah.
that site. It's all the books that are Jesus, Christ channeling.
Yeah.
Raj. He's got Raj. I'm not sure if he has the sparkly. Maybe
He's got sparkly there, yeah.
he does the whole thing.
Yeah, Christ Mind Library, it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Choose Only Love only wanted to do part of it. I guess they didn't want to give
Just the one book. Yeah, just
they
the
didn't
one
want to
book.
give the whole cow away without,
Hi, Reverend Reja. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. This is Ida. I'm listening.
Hey,
Oh, hi, Ida.
Hi, Ida.
Hi.
honey.
All right.
Okay, listen away, and then
Okay.
but okay,
All right.
let's go.
So at this time, would you please mute your microphones so we don't get any background noise during meditation? And Joy will put us in guided meditation.
Okay.
Do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
You know what you.
I had this up and
All
then I
right.
took it.
Are we gonna medicate or meditate?
Yeah, I always, good thing we have spell checker because I always when I type it's medicate.
It
is
medicate.
Yeah, I have to have it like
See, that's
autocorrect.
See, that's AI. It's taking over.
All right.
Pretty soon we'll call medicate. We'll say it's medicate because we don't want to, make the AI mad.
Okay.
All
right. So everybody is ready. And okay, we'll close our eyes if you feel okay to do that and comfortable enough to just close your eyes and go within. Take that awareness within. As soon as you close your eyes, you feel a shift because you're letting go of a lot of external focus and you're bringing it all within, all inside. So it's telling the body and the mind that it's not going to deal with the world, not with the world, with what we think is out there, but it's going to let all of that go. And usually we do this, as I said before, when we go to sleep. But there are other times when we just close our eyes to stay in the moment of now, to stay present and aware, and to drink in the experience of being, of existing without doing anything, without going anywhere, just being. That's what we do now. It's it's a very profound state of being. And we do this with one another in each other's presence. So it's very powerful when you do that together with others. And so we feel our body begin to relax as we do this. There is a communion, we feel it, with one another as we relax. There is nothing we need to do. We can open now to that idea of acceptance. We can accept everything exactly as it is right now. There's nothing that needs to be changed. It's a beautiful place to be because there is no angst or anxiety or tension or stress because we accept everything. We surrender, we let go. It's all beautiful. It's all perfect. We are beautiful and perfect. We are the love that created us. There's no separation between that created us and who we are. There's no separation between one another. We're all that love that created us. We're all connected. There's no separation. So we feel that now. We drink in that sense of communion and unity. And it feels wonderful. Hmm. You know, from that place, we want to bring to mind, we're going to bring to mind our lesson today. And the lesson is, I see nothing as it is now. And in the lesson, it says it is difficult for the untrained mind to believe that what seems to be pictured before it is not there. But it says each little step will clear a little of the darkness away, and understanding will finally come to lighten every corner of the mind which has been cleared of the debris that darkens it. And so we take that into our 2-minute silence and we lighten our minds. I see nothing as it is now. I'll time us for 2 minutes and I'll bring us out. We'll begin now. I see nothing as it is now. When we're ready, we'll open our eyes.
Okay, for Milan and Blake, this is we have the reading list, and when I call your name, I'll give you the paragraph to read, and maybe 2 or 3 of the words so that it's easy for you to find. This is not a debate forum. The reader is first share, and they once they read the paragraph, then they are they have the floor until they indicate something like I'm complete or that's it for me or even I'll pass.
Yeah, they share whatever comes up for them in the paragraph they just read.
Okay. All right. And then if you would like to share something that came up for you during the reading, then if you wouldn't mind using that little hand that we have in Zoom, that way they stack in order of and that way it's kind of easier for us to call on the person. And that way it doesn't we don't get out of sync, I guess it would be.
Yeah, gives everyone a chance to
Gives everyone a
share,
chance
you
to
know,
share. So
and yeah, take
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
I'll try to keep it going. Sometimes we make it through the reading, sometimes we don't, and so that's okay. It's just we're here from you. We're here for you from 6:30 to 7:45, 6:30 to 7.
Yeah, quarter of 7.
6:30 to 7:45. So
6:45.
we
Or
yeah,
7:45. That's right. It is a
Yep.
quarter of 8. Oh my God.
Yep, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, we try to keep the format light. Don't we don't do a lot of I don't know.
What? Analyzing or something?
Analyze, sterilize, analyze.
Mhm.
No, whatever,
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
And anyway, Milan and Blake, you'll see as it comes out that, you know.
Oh, Jacob.
I know this isn't normal, but I just wanted to say, Reja, that what you said before we went into meditation was so meaningful to me. I have had stresses lately with my daughter being close to the California fires, and in fact was evacuated. And she's okay. They're back in their home. She lives in Glendale, and it got rather close, but she's okay. But I've been doing what you talked about before the meditation, and I wanted to share it with everyone before we get started, and I'll be quick. But it is saying, and I read it somewhere and I took it to heart. It's saying yes to what comes into your life. And it's not easy, because if I have angst about getting older, I say yes to aging,
Mhm.
and if oh, I usually have a million on the tip of my tongue, but I turn around and say yes to Jessie losing her home because they had gone out of the canyon and they were safe out of the canyon. So but I said yes to losing the home, or yes to, if I get ill or my husband gets ill. And it is amazing the release you feel when you let go, and it doesn't last. I think it's a lesson that has to be refreshed. But I just wanted to share that it's been so meaningful for me. I wanted to share it with everybody. So there we go.
So much,
Excellent.
Jacob. And you know what? Thank you so much. What I just thought is when we do that, when we step back and accept, what happens is a blessing.
Mhm.
We we receive a blessing. Everything has a blessing. And so, like you said, maybe they'll move, maybe the blessing is they'll find another wonderful, perfect place to live, and that might be a blessing.
And for the self, what it does immediately is the angst is lifted. Try it, guys. The angst is dissolves. And it might not stay dissolved, but boy,
Wow.
when you say yes to it, and I say it flippantly, I'll say I say yes to this, but I notice that the angst and my worry and this heavy cloud that I feel on me sometimes just dissipates. So try it. I just love it. And thank you. And it was very meaningful that you said that. The synchronicity in my life is just incredible. It just goes on and on and on and on.
I have to
So
tell
of course, right, Charles. So
I think it's-
and Milan. Yeah, it just when you fall into something, then it appears somewhere else, or someone says something, and I look for that, and I always feel like it's coming from my guides, right? So I say, thank you, guys. It's all connecting, and it's making sense, and it's bringing me to clarity and peace. So thanks.
And that wasn't planned. I had no idea I was going to say that. That's what's amazing. I had no idea.
Cool.
In fact, I think I just let it come through. So, okay.
All right. Very
Um,
nice.
mhm.
All right, we're in chapter 1, part 1, Principles of Miracles. We're going to read paragraphs 82 to 91. Paragraph 82, Sandra, can you start off? It's principle 50.
Principles of Miracles. Principle 50. The miracle is a learning device which lessens the need for time. In the longitudinal or horizontal plane, the recognition of the true equality of all the members of the sonship appears to involve almost endless time. However, the sudden shift from horizontal to vertical perception, which the miracle entails, introduces an interval from which the doer and the receiver both emerge, much farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. So, this is Earth School, and I'm learning that that we're all one. That's it.
Yeah.
That giving and receiving are one, and that we're all one. We've got it all. We've got the our divinity, we've got our humanity, we've got it all, and we're perfect. And everything is perfect. And so my feelings of sadness and um, rejection
Hmm.
are perfect. And I'm not going to try and pretend that everything's all peachy keen. I mean, there is an aspect of it that's peachy keen, that's for sure, and an aspect of it that's totally filled with grace and gratitude. But there's that other thing happening too, which is sadness, anger, upset. It's all happening at the same time. And what I'm learning is that it's all perfect, and I'm complete.
Cool. Thank you, Sandra. Very nice.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right, Charles of God. I got to call you that because we have two Charles tonight. So,
I call the other Charles, Charles, delight of God.
okay. Sounds good.
Um,
All right, go ahead.
I like it says it taking from the horizontal to the vertical, and we've been all taught how to solve problems all our lives externally around us, and we're become problem solvers. That's a horizontal, to me, a horizontal way of dealing with situations, which seems to, you have to get a lot of people in agreement in order to solve a problem. But when you go vertical, it's when you say yes and you thank God for whatever comes into your life, then the miracle starts to realize how God's love touches everyone and how God's love moves everyone's hearts and minds in ways far beyond we can ever imagine. And to me, that's the miracle. It's a great equalizer. And it's not about convincing anybody of anything, but really feeling the love of God touch everyone's heart and knowing that the solution that truly meant to be will be there in God's good time. And so I like the horizontal and vertical plane that the miracle brings us to. Thank you. I'm complete.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Jen.
Jude.
Yeah, I'm going to take that just a little bit further. You know, the horizontal plane being worldly thoughts, personal thoughts, idle thoughts, meaningless thoughts, thoughtless thoughts, thoughts of past and future, which the course, even in the first 50 lessons, teaches us that our minds are a blank, that we're not really thinking, that we think we're thinking, but we're not really thinking at all. And that real thoughts, the horizontal thoughts, are true thoughts, the loving thoughts, that only loving, kind, holy, beautiful, happy, joyful, free thoughts are true thoughts, thoughts that we think with the mind of God. So thank you, Charles. You set me up.
Thanks, Jude.
Thanks, Jude. All right, other Charles or Charles. What am I called?
Paul.
I can be Charlie as well.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Charlie.
All right, we'll do that.
Yeah, about a third of my friends call me Charlie. Boy, I still get shy on Zoom. I don't like this, but I'm getting used to it. And you set me up as well, Charles of God, in talking of the vertical and the horizontal. And I don't have a degree in physics, but I think there's some correspondence here. The horizontal is time. Well, he says so, and the the vertical up and relating to space, which would also be akin to the fourth dimension in physics is time, and in the fifth dimension space. And maybe that sounds obtuse, but for me, in my experience, timelessness, and I like what Jude said very much. Our true thoughts. I thought you meant to say on the vertical, on the from beyond this world.
The vertical is what I meant to say. Thank you.
Yeah. And boy, that imagery really, it's the few words in paragraph 82 speak to me volume. Somehow pages of words could come out of this simple. But in my experience, the spacelessness or timelessness is very difficult. And the way Jesus presents it right up front in the beginning of the book, that and throughout the text, we learn that we can go into a holy instant, a moment that just takes us beyond all this shit.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of what he's introducing right here, is in this vertical shift, this timelessness. Well, it feels like a gift to me when it happens and everything gets all right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's
me too.
nice. All right, Jude.
Yes, I forgot to say that thing about the time that the course says that time wastes us and that we waste time because we're doing all this meaningless idle thinking and preoccupied with states of mind that are completely false, like concerns about our body and the world, and how it's just false, not true, true kind of thinking. And it's an alternate reality. It's a virtual reality. And the fact that miracles correct our perceptions of that and undo it. The course describes time as being a carpet that's already happened. It's already been done and corrected. So we're really just living memories is what we're doing of stuff that we've already done. And that collapsing of time comes from that, carpet rolling back up as we eliminate meaningless false thinking. This is going to shrink and it's going to actually disappear, which I love the way the course describes time as a carpet. Thank you.
It is kind of cool. All right. Go ahead.
Yep. I have this collapsing of, well, let me see, the horizontal versus vertical perception. For me, the vertical is I equate it with the holy instant, and so there's, how about it, Jacob? There's no time. It's just, oh, she's gone. It's just being, there's just absolutely no time in it. And the thing is that change, that beautiful song, change can happen in the twinkling of an eye. When the light touches you, in that moment, you are transformed. I should share that song with everyone. It's so beautiful. I think it's sung by people at Finhorn. Change can come I think it's from the Bible, but change can come in the twinkling of an eye. And I experienced that recently. It was like I was in a funk. I shared this with Jake earlier and my dear friend Lori Cameron. And I was in a funk and I listened to something and it was truth. And I shifted, and the shift was it was in the twinkling of an eye.
Cool.
Can you imagine? I mean, it was like the clouds cleared, and there was clarity, and there was truth, and there was love, and I was back. And it doesn't take a long time. It's this love, like love waits on welcome, not on time, right? That you reminded me of
That's
that,
right,
Jude.
right.
So love waits on welcome. So what I did is in that moment, I was able to welcome reality back into my mind. It never left. I left it, but to welcome it back to the stage or whatever. But anyway, so
And I didn't do anything wrong.
no, and change.
It wasn't me.
No, and change can come in the twinkling of an eye. No, not at all. And what do you got, Jude? Oh,
I just hadn't put it down. Thank you.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Paragraph 83. Charles, can you read that? The miracle thus has the unique property.
The miracle thus has unique property of shortening time by rendering the space of time it occupies unnecessary. There is no relationship between the time a miracle takes and the time it covers. It substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. It does this by underlying recognition of the perfect equality and holiness between the doer, the doer and the receiver on which the miracle rests. As I was reading this earlier on, I was really amused by Jesus saves thousands of years. And here's this person, like for us to live 10, 20 years, that's a long time to collapse into a holy instant. But when he says saves thousands of years, can you imagine how he sees time as a miracle constitutes over all mankind? It's the shortening of time through our individual miracles produces such a vast miracle that includes all, because it runs through the whole sonship. And that's why I love what he says it transcends space. Because as they say, it's like the 100 monkey idea. When one monkey learns how to wash a potato, all of a sudden 500 miles away, there's another monkey who learns how to wash potato, but they don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the thought transfer is that quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time and there's no space, So the miracle-minded, when they produce the holy instant, are actually producing holy instants all over the world through the availability of the practice. So in practicing the holy instant, we awaken the holy instants in people we've never even met before. Because the holy instant rises from the heart of all mankind. It's a natural way of being, and we become unnatural in our ways. And as we learn to become more natural from the heartfelt way of being, that's why I like the Tao, the way of who we truly are, and to learn the way, which the Course, I believe, teaches us the way through our belief system we use in this part of the world. And that's why it's such a heavy book and a very strong book for those who have our background. I can speak for myself because of my background in religion and Christhood and all that. And it helps me to accept other religions and accept their way of presenting their love in ways a miracle joins us. And it's not about words, it's about heartfelt love for one another. It's about accepting and loving things as they are, rather than how you think they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what churches do. Churches say how things should be, and then teach their members how things should be, instead of loving what is. Anyways, thank you. I'm complete.
Oh, thanks. That's cool. Okay. Milan, can you read paragraph 84?
Absolutely.
All right. Starts with we said before that.
Of course, my finger moved. We said before that the miracle abolishes time. It does this by a process of collapsing it and thus abolishing certain intervals with it. It does this, however, within the larger temporal sequence. It establishes an out of pattern time interval, which is not under the usual laws of time. Only in this sense is it timeless. By collapsing time, it literally saves time, much as daylight saving time does. It rearranges the distribution of light. How can we not be just enthralled when you think about how can I speak in I statements? I apologize. Not just be overtaken and enthralled. The miracle being able to absolutely collapse what we have upheld and aggrieve this time and space continuum. You know, it causes awe and wonder every time birth happens, every time sun rises and sun sets, and yet the miracle can just flatten all of it, because as soon as it appears, nothing that happened before or after it matters. The education has presented itself.
Wow.
And all that mattered before is no longer. And all that spoke before me, I thank you all for really wrapping up my heart's thoughts and putting them into a beautiful bow. I was, you know, when your heart is so set on something that's like 83, 84, always wrapped it up beautifully.
Too funny.
Thank you so much. I am complete.
Oh,
Thank you. What a beautiful share. Welcome to the group. All right, Jude, go ahead.
That was great. Thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking about how much time I've wasted being wrong, you know, getting into arguments and defending my right to be wrong. Like, you know, being angry or being sad or missing opportunities to be happy and glad just because I was being a petulant 2-year-old at 40, you know. It's like it just makes me laugh. I remember the first time I read the course, and I was I was so glad to and happy just to admit I was wrong. And the freedom, Jacob, you were talking about freedom, you know, the freedom just to just say I'm wrong, and I'd rather be happy and wrong than, you know, argue about being right. So thank you, Milan. You got me going.
Cool.
Thanks, Jude.
Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, it just brought to my mind when Judith was sharing that Edgar Casey family, I don't know if it was his wife family or his family, they used to be lawyers. And so when they gathered around the dinner table, they loved their arguments because that's what they practiced all the time, was arguing their point.
It's true. Yeah.
And you could feel the love was so powerful at that table in their sharing that it was just a joy to be present there while they're going through whatever they're going through and accepting things as they are rather than trying to convince their right or wrongness of what their arguments were. That there was real love. So I honor people in their debates and arguments, knowing the love that they feel, underlying love that's driving their heart to express themselves in whatever way they feel is strongly for them, you know. And that's when I offer it to the Holy Instance, be you in charge, because I want the Holy Spirit to enter in on the argument into the hearts of all mankind.
Wow.
And stand back and watch the miracle work. Because only through the love of the heart can people really see their arguments come to a point where they can accept and allow differences rather than have other people believe what they think they should believe. Well, thank you. I'm complete.
Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, I have something simple. I don't know if Jaika is still here, but she was talking about synchronicity. And I often get synchronicity with language. And this paragraph in particular has been very powerful for me because of the way Jesus says collapsing time. And that this goes way back for me in my amateur study of physics. And I seem to be coming from the head a lot. I really want to thank you, Milan, for what you shared, and the way you shared it was very beautiful for me, about the way you spoke of the timelessness of the miracle. And it's nice to meet you. But this one's been powerful for me. And I was using this term actively. I even made a friendship that I hesitate to go into all the details, but I'm meeting a lot of new people. And I like to study, I like to test these ideas out in Hindu temples and bus stations and AA meetings and a Christian church. So I'm listening to a sermon, and she's talking about the collapsing of time. And after the service, it's a small church, so I'm able to talk to her in the reception. Where did that come from? And the next Sunday, she uses the image again and told me, well, that was for you. So we have this dialogue going over. But anyway, so a couple of mornings ago, when I opened this to read it for my own practice, it was very powerful for me when I got to paragraph 84. But I have this a lot, especially with the chorus, with rich synchronicity with vocabulary that kind of transcends coarse speak or psychology or Christianity or whatever kind of color you want to put on this. And I feel complete. Thank you.
Well, Charlie, were you going to say something about quantum physics? Because, there is that idea of collapsing time, right? Where it's not really there until time collapses, and then it's real.
Well, the collapsing wave function, and yeah, that someone observing
collapses it.
The universe needs an observer for the physical laws to work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Blake, can you read paragraph 85? I believe it starts.
Yes.
The miracle.
The miracle. Oh, and it's very small.
The short one.
You do the next two. Oh, no, I don't know. What?
What do you
Either way.
think, Blake? You want to read 85 and 86?
So it's either way is fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I'll do both.
All right.
Okay. The miracle is the only device which man has at his immediate disposal for controlling time. Only revelation transcends time, having nothing to do with time at all. The miracle is much like the body in that both are learning aids which aim at facilitating a state in which they are unnecessary. When the soul's original state of direct communication is reached, neither the body nor the miracle serves any purpose. When he believes he is in a body, however, man can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression. He can make an empty shell, but he cannot express nothing at all. He can wait, delay, paralyze himself, reduce his creativity to almost nothing, and even introduce a developmental arrest or even a regression. But he cannot abolish his creativity. He can destroy his medium of communication, but not his potential. So for me, that means that we can pretend we're in this world. We can believe this world is real. We can pretend we're a body. We can delay. We can make excuses. We can stay in our ego, but we're still going to get where we need to go eventually. And only revelation transcends time.
Hmm.
Of course, time isn't real. Time is man-made, from what I have learned. And I'm working recently on seeing my at-one-ment, seeing the great rays in everyone I see, think about, or judge, trying to see the at-one-ment, seeing the great rays, forgiving the world. And that's been helpful for me. And the course says, don't worry about how to do it, just have the willingness to do it, and then the forgiveness and the at-one-ment occurs. So that's all for me. Thanks.
That's
Oh,
nice.
thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thanks.
Wait a moment.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Janet, can you read paragraph 87? It starts with the man has not created. Oh, the man was not created.
Okay. Man was not created by his own free will alone. Only what he creates is his to decide. The basic decision of the miracle minded is not to wait on time any longer than necessary. Time can waste as well as be wasted. The miracle worker, therefore, accepts the time control factor gladly because he recognizes that every collapse of time brings all men closer to the ultimate release from time in which the Son and the Father are one. Let's see. Well, it starts off with we are responsible for what we decide, and whether we're coming from our higher self or our lower self. And the longer we keep in the lower self, the longer it's going to take. Time is an illusion. And I guess from a human point of view, I'll say we or I probably waste more of it than is really necessary in helping us keep moving forward on our spiritual path. And it also brings us back to the thought of, as it ends, that we will be released in time and get back to our oneness as complete as the Son of God and as the Father are, and as we really, our large self are. I'm complete. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Janet.
Thanks, Janet.
You know, some of us on the call have just had birthdays. And what's interesting, when I noted this one, in fact, even 4 years ago, when I realized that I was becoming older than my father did when he passed, he was 70 in 1992, and he was 70 years old, and now I'm 4 years past when Dad passed away, and what was
76?
four? I said four.
Oh, 4 years.
Four.
4 years and 4 and 72 is 76.
No, he was 70.
Oh, he was 70.
1992.
Oh, okay.
You just had a birthday.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, and I just noticed this one. I observed this one differently a little bit, and I noticed that the day before and the day of and the day after, they were all the same. They were all the same date, and you go like, "Well, it's my birthday," and you know what? I don't remember being born. How about that? I don't get it. I was there. I know I was there because they say I was
Honey,
there.
you don't remember all your past lives either, and you don't remember.
Yeah, some of my past lives are starting to bounce around, so I know that.
Yeah, but you know what's cool?
What?
There's something that didn't age, that never ages, and that's what's inside. Right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, okay,
that's
all right,
true. Yeah,
it's really
we
that our bodies are looking are looking different,
yeah,
and acting different, but that
That's-
potential,
yeah.
is
The only thing that's rotting.
eternal.
That's right. The only thing that's rotting is the body. That's right. Oh, wow, man.
Rotting.
Okay, all right. The only thing that's getting
Gracefully
older
Gracefully older.
doesn't make any difference, does it?
No. Well,
because the Chris on the inside, I'm still, the day I was born.
exactly.
Hey,
Even before that.
even
That's what I'm
before
trying to
that,
say.
and before
Yeah.
that, before that. Okay, all right.
Because you weren't born, you're not going to die.
All right, okay. So,
Who do we got? Jude.
Jude, go ahead. Save me. Yep, there you go.
I'm like in a whole different dimension here.
Yeah, I can tell you're phasing in and phasing out.
I'm really in a different,
Yeah,
the fourth dimension.
yeah,
Um, I'm sort of Teal and Blake, I guess.
yeah.
I'm pretty focused in eternity and now. I don't time travel much. I have lately because I'm moving, so I'm going through a lot of stuff and really aware of time traveling in my thoughts, think about the past and the future. But generally speaking, I'm always pretty focused in the present, and I think of heaven as being my inevitability, and God keeps calling me in everything around me that love is everything, God is in everything, and He's calling me to come home to the awareness of my reality. This is the way I think. This is the way I operate.
Wow.
Everything is love, everything is a blessing, no matter how it appears or it seems to be to Jude's personal opinion about it. It's like this stuff has pretty much been erased in my mind. It's like I still think like that, but it's old habitual thought that is just residue, and I can see very clearly the clarity of my thought has really genuinely enabled me to be happy, joyous, and free pretty much all the time, no matter what's going on. In spite of physical body pain, in spite of being evicted from my potential eviction from my apartment, I actually found a place and going to move into another place a month before I was supposed to move. It's like things, talk about synchronicity. It's like man is always, mercy is always raining from heaven. And I don't have any doubt. Whenever I think doubtful thoughts or fearful thoughts or insecure thoughts, I think those are ego thoughts. They're meaningless thoughts. On whose behalf am I thinking these thoughts? This person doesn't even exist. I'm a figment of my own freaking imagination. Amalgamation of memories, of judgments and experiences from the past. It's like Fruit Loops. We make ourselves miserable with our own thinking. And I don't believe in misery, sickness, suffering, or death anymore.
Cool.
I am complete.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Charles.
Thank you. I'm just when we're talking about age here, you touched something that Wayne Dyer mentioned that every 7 years we always have a new body. Nothing in the body is over 7 years old. Yet the body ages on a consistent basis, yet nothing in the body is over 7 years old. So our belief system has a lot of influence on how the body appears, because we have a lot of people around us who tend to grow older, and we tend to agree that aging is a process. And one of the prayers that Jesus did and taught me was, as I stand alone in your great silence, in the midst of me there blazes a pure light. And the radiance of this light fills every atom of my whole being with its great radiance. Light, love, beauty, purity, perfect perfection stand forth in full dominion in this light. And it is, how often do we bathe ourselves in the radiance of God's love and send it to all ourselves? And how do we change our mind about what aging is all about?
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of people who are 80 or 90 years old and they look 40 or 50,
Hmm.
you know? And the one that comes to mind right off the back is Dick Van Dyke. The guy's in his 90s now, and
Yeah.
you swear he was 70s. Easy.
Hmm.
And those are 100 who have a youthful look about them. It reminds me of an inner well-being, that the wellness of the spirit is formed in such a way that the body becomes the radiance while it is still here. It's not going to live forever. I'm not saying that, but the body itself can produce an aura that has a great influence in its surrounding. As we start to go inside and remember the light, and that light bathing us and all our cells in that presence. And all the cells start to feel that deep gratitude for being aligned with love, and feeling that love sent to them while they're functioning within the body. And feeling that the community is held together by love. Love provides the strength within the body.
Cool.
And that becomes the strength within the body of the family, the community, and so forth and so on. So it's an age-old belief that we grow old only because of our thought system. And I've seen a lot of people defy that and were successful over it. So thank you. I'm complete.
Hey, Charles, do you have that written down somewhere? What you read?
It's a Masters of the Far East
Oh, okay.
book 3,
Book 3.
chapter, it's page 60.
Okay. All
I
right.
also have it on my YouTube channel as a prayer I use.
Oh, okay.
But I'll gladly put it on on your website there for you if you like.
Okay.
Or send it to you in an email. You can share it with others.
I had Masters of the Forest. I could get it, or either one, or email it to me. Yeah.
It's a prayer. I only said the first few lines. It goes
It
3
goes on.
paragraphs.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's quite an involved prayer. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks. Okay.
thank
Great.
you. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Great.
All
Thank
right.
you. Okay. And Jude.
Okay, Jude, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pass.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's read paragraph 88. Jaka, can you read for us? Starts with equality does not imply.
Janet's got
Okay.
her hand up.
What? Oh, I
Janet's
missed.
raising her hand.
Who? Who?
Janet was waving. I don't know. There's
Hi,
Oh,
Janet.
oh, hi,
Oh.
Janet.
Okay. What do you got? Thanks, Jude. You're on mute, hon, Janet.
she always has such
Okay,
a
there you go.
clear-
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I want to follow up with a lot of the previous speakers said, and just share a few of my own thoughts about the world's perception to birthdays. Has so many connotations, but everyone, or not everyone, but most every people really make a big deal of it, and they have all these separate celebrations and all this. And I don't. This had come to me, whether I read it or it just came to me, and it was many, many years ago. And everybody that knows me, I don't have a birthday. I'll celebrate it as my day because my connotation is if we're eternal, then we don't need a birthday.
Hmm.
And it sort of helps me break the barrier between a body and time. And what I've learned that on the earth place, no matter what age you say, I'll say the majority of people have an opinion about it, what you should know, what you shouldn't know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So that has been helpful for me. And so my family and friends that are big on birthdays, they'll say, well, we'll do your day. And what I've noticed, especially in the past maybe 10 years or so, I'm a senior like most of you. And I'm happy with my age. I'm happy with what I do, but I don't like to say my age because I've noticed a change in a lot of people's attitude. And I was 93 in July. And then once they know it, they say, well, can I help you? Can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? And so I don't know if that would be helpful information. It's just trying to get out of the ego, small self thought of Janet and back into my truer self. And that has helped me as far as this age birthday thing is
Cool.
going. So thank you for letting me say my little piece.
Cool.
Wow, I never would have guessed. Never would have guessed.
Cool.
Wow.
All right.
You're an inspiration.
Can you read the let's see. Yeah, Jacob, yeah, 88. Can
Yeah.
you read for us? Sure. Starts with
Okay.
the equality does not imply.
Okay. Equality does not imply homogeneity now. Homogeneity? Homogeneity. I think I was thinking about that. I was looking at it. I think that means sameness. So I think they might be saying equality does not imply sameness now. When everyone recognizes that he has everything, individual contributions to the sonship will no longer be necessary. When everyone recognizes that he has everything, individual contributions to the sonship will no longer be necessary. When the atonement has been completed, all talents will be shared by all the sons of God. God is not partial. All his children have his total love, and all his gifts are freely given to everyone alike. Quote, except ye become as little children, end of quote, means that unless you fully recognize your complete dependence on God, you cannot know the real power of the Son in his true relationship with the Father. That's interesting. It means unless you fully recognize your complete dependence on God, you cannot know the real power of the Son and his true relationship with the Father. I wonder if they really mean dependence or connection.
Dependence.
What? What?
He means dependence.
Oh, dependent. Oh, he means
so.
dependence. Yeah.
I
Who am I to correct? But I mean, as far as words that would mean something different to us or more clear, but yeah. Fully recognize your complete dependence on God. Well, okay. I'm a little stumped. If anyone has anything to that comes up for them,
Was it Charles has one, and then
oh, good.
Okay. Well,
oh wow. Thanks, guys.
What comes up to me is that which is animated and living gives expression to that which who we are, that invisible self that has a source to its beingness, the source being that which gives rise to the expression. We each are a soul lit into being by the light of God's love, with light being the Christ of God. Now, in the Bible days, it said the Lord God breathed into Adam a living soul in Genesis 2. But if you look at the word Lord, it said Lord God. Well, Lord means that which is anointed of God. And the anointed of God is the Son of God. So the Son of God breathed into the form a living soul. And so when the soul unites with the living Christ, that which is the light of God, okay, he draws from the source. And that source illuminates the soul. And the soul is unique expression that no one else can be. That gives forth that love that no one else can give in ways that everyone enjoys and draws them into their own soul that they may love back in a very unique and wonderful way. So we're all unique expressions in soul. But when it comes to Christ, Christ is the source, the light that lights the soul in each body. and the light, which is God's love. Okay. And that's why I always say the light of God's love is the Christ of God. Jesus recognized that light as being Lord over and master over all beliefs. And when the soul returns back into the connection with the living Christ, that's when we start to realize we're totally dependent on that light for everything in our life. That becomes everything to us. And this is where the churches get it right. Christ is everything to us. Okay? Because Christ is the light that lights us into being. But Christ is not a man. Christ is the light of God's love. And God's love is the great rays of the universe, as the Course says, is that which lights everything into being. And everything is an expression of God's consciousness. And so when you get into physics, you say that everything is energy, and energy never dies, but only changes its expression. It always renews itself and gives fresh way of presenting itself. So when we get into the source of who we are, which is beyond words, even the light of God, which is the Christ beyond words, but the soul has a unique way of bringing it into expression. And that's one of the glories of man that each of us have as souls, is to bring that light into the world in ways that just are so wonderful.
Wow.
In each one of us.
Wow.
And that's when we realize we all connect to the same source, then we share our gifts equally among all. And we appreciate the gifts that each of us share with one another.
Cool.
That's when we get into true equality.
Yep.
Because we share the same source as one.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thanks. It's kind of what I've perceived this Zoom call to be from 6:30 to 7:45. We hold time. Time's not existing while we're here. And everybody that comes here, we all kind of come together as one. One. We're all here in this little Zoom room here, and we're all just huddled down and looking at and talking and sharing and all that, and we're all just one person right now.
Did Jude want to share before? No. Jude, you put your hand down. Are you okay? Do you have
hand down? Thank you.
Oh,
okay,
good.
honey.
All
right, Charlie.
All right, Charlie, can
I,
you do your?
I don't know if I can follow what Charles just said.
Oh, okay. But
It was about, but I'll try.
Don't try. No, it's okay. Just be who you are. Be who
Well,
you are.
Yeah.
Like contrasting rock and roll with classical music. But this is one of my favorite lines in the chorus, Jaika, and I connect it to the legend of a saint. I'm used to talking with Reja about this man who lived in India until 1973, Neem Crowley Baba. But he was very, very much a miracle man. I mean, like, we think maybe he raised the dead. I mean, a lot of phenomenon happened, and he was insistent. I don't do anything. I don't do anything. God does everything, and he was very playful. I mean, the man was a living riot. He was fat. He would come to the village and eat everyone's food. Lived with a barefoot child his entire life, and yet he seemed kind of like a Superman. He could go anywhere. He would talk to anyone. He probably wasn't worried about people pulling handguns on him. Most incredible, unusual man. Lived like a child, sometimes acted like a child, rarely, if ever, spoke from the scriptures of India. He spoke of Christ. He spoke of Jesus Christ. He spoke of him being his guru. They have a tradition of teachers in India. But I often think of this very line from the chorus when I'm at this man's temple and sitting near the area that kind of symbolizes where he would sit, all barefoot. And I visualize it. I don't know if this is helpful if you don't know the person I'm speaking of, but I get Yeah, and I sometimes want to see Jesus this way too. Not always somber, but having a strong sense of humor. I don't know. For me, this line means so much. Not not helplessness so much, but this same man would say, no one gets to the Father without going through the mother. And I take these words very seriously. No one gets to God without the Holy Spirit. So I surrender my shoes, my choice of colors for shirts. I mean, if I'm wise, I can learn to sort of give my very physical existence over to the great mother and be like a child. And this line means, and thank you for letting me throw my bit in too.
Cool. All right.
Oh, wait. And thank you, Charlie. And before Charlie reads, because Charlie, you're next on the reading list, Paula has a share.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to share. That's
Okay.
what I was going to, but I'll let Paula's next.
Okay, go ahead, Paula.
Just going back to what Charles was saying. Oh, I loved everything he said. Oh my God. And I read Louise Hay. I really like her. She says, and I'm always self-criticizing, and I'm trying to really get over that. And you're one of the things I've been saying to myself is I'm a divine expression of life. I love and accept myself where I am right now. I rejoice in my own expression of life. I'm perfect just as I am. I love and approve of myself. It lifts you up. It just lifts you up it's what Jacob was talking about before. It's almost like, yes, saying yes to yourself. And there are so many, and I just repeat them through it when I find myself going into that critical mode. I pull this out and I just read them, and it gets me out of it. I mean, it just makes such a shift, and I feel so much better about myself, because when I feel better about myself, I feel better about how you express yourself. I no longer um, want to put the kibosh on what you're saying or criticize what you're saying. There's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. I'm complete.
That's true.
Thanks, Paula.
That's true.
You know what? That reminds me of the S training, where Werner Erhard seminar training. I often bring this up, but is that where I got it? I think so. There's this affirmation that they said would you would get rich. And people would pay for this affirmation because it works so well. And the affirmation is, you ready? You ready to be rich? Here it is.
Let me write it down.
Wait a minute. wait a minute. Don't we have to charge them all first?
Oh, yeah, you have to. Yeah. My PayPal is under Christ.
Yeah. Take your credit card, swipe it in the air, and we'll tell you how much we're going to take out of it.
And I did this, and I made more in my life that day. I was waitressing, and I made more that night than I had ever in my whole waitressing career. I made a shitload of money. So here it is. You won't believe it. I am highly pleasing to myself in the presence of others. That's exactly what you were saying. And that's the affirmation. I am highly pleasing to myself in the presence of others.
Wow.
It's a little bizarre, but if you're pleasing to yourself, you're not shoulding on yourself, I should do this, right? You're accepting yourself and you're pleased by who you are. And to be pleased by who you are, you're open to your creativity, you're open to your potential, you're open to your God self, your heart, your core of love, So I think this is my take on it. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like how you use the word pleasing to yourself and not of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of people are pleasing of themselves, and people sort of get offended because they speak of themselves highly. But pleasing to yourselves with self-love, everybody wants that for themselves.
Okay.
So that's beautiful. I like that word "to" in there. I
didn't notice that.
Important. Yeah.
The other thing, honey, I know you want to get going, but Jacob, you know that dependence thingy, your complete dependence on God. And what came to my mind was, um, I'd rather do it myself. I'd rather do it myself. Remember that commercial? Wasn't there a commercial when we
No,
were growing up?
I don't remember.
I'd rather do it myself.
Hmm.
You don't remember that either?
Mr. Whipple? No,
Well, anyway,
Mr. Whipple.
it's a thing that the ego gets. I'd rather do it myself. Just go, I'm going to do it myself. And that's the ego thinking that we don't need God. We don't need, I don't need to be dependent. I'm going to do it myself. The thing is, the only thing that works is when we align our will with the will of with our source, because it's our source for Pete's sakes. And you're not, driving, looking, in the rear view mirror. Or you're riding the horse the direction it's going. That's if you ride the horse in the direction it's going, you're in line with source.
Yeah.
And to be in line with source, you're dependent, of course, because who wouldn't want to be dependent on what gave it existence and what has all the answers to any question? Like who said it? Charlie said, about the Holy Spirit, it's picking out the color and what you're going to, everything, because it has all the answers, because it is our true self, really. Don't separate yourself from the Holy Spirit. That's our true self and the Christ self, true self. And we are one with our Father, I and my Father. Anyway,
Cool.
I'm done.
Psychopaths, alcoholics, and lawyers. I'll do it my way.
Yeah, and narcissists.
Sounds like our prime minister.
All right.
Cheers.
Okay, Charlie, you're gonna.
We're still going.
We're over time.
That's okay.
I got no time. I'm here if other people.
Oh, great. Okay, so
can you read 89 and then we'll
89.
and then okay. All right.
Oh, this is a great one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm going to pre-comment. This is a great one. I'm reading it off a screen up here. You who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. You never really wanted peace before, so there was no point in being told how to achieve it. No learning is acquired by anyone unless he wants to learn it and believes in some way that he needs it. While the concept of lack does not exist in the creation of God, it is very apparent in the creations of man. It is, in fact, the essential difference. A need implies lack by definition. It involves the recognition that you would be better off in a state which is somehow different from the one you're in now, from the one you're in. Well, I know. Yeah, I'm still stuck on that first line. You who want peace can only find it only by complete forgiveness. I mean, that's so important, and wanting it being a prerequisite. It's kind of tricky to be letting go of who I thought I was to become who I already was. Need I've had a few brief chapters in life where I'm by the side of the road and don't know I'm going to sleep tonight. Didn't grow up that way, and I haven't spent most of my life, but I know something about lack or fear, looking down the business end of a gun. And my mind can get really active with, well, what do you mean I just give up all my needs? I have no needs. And yet that's where the course is taking me. And yeah, it's easy to say when you have a monthly income, maybe, but it hasn't taken care of everything. Having, enough to eat and shelter. No, really, to give that up, somebody talking about aging or dying, or coming, someone was talking about Louise Hay, your attitude creates disease. To oversimplify her. But boy, I love the whole, everything we're reading this evening. I've just loved so much. I feel complete. I could just go on all night, so I won't.
Thank you, Charlie. That was great.
All right, Charles. Give us one last share, and then you got your prayer ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I like to substitute the word forgiveness with acceptance.
Okay.
If I jump out of an airplane and I know there's no need I have right now, I accept what is. There's a great joy that fills within me of knowing that I'm complete acceptance of what is.
Mhm.
So if I accept what's in front of me as what it is, without the need to change anything about it, just accept it as it is, then become very silent and quiet and allow to look inwardly to the holy instant. That acceptance is forgiveness. Because I no longer judge what is. I'm not judging, I'm accepting. And then looking to the holy instant for the miracle to occur.
Wow.
So that was my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles, because what came to mind when you were sharing is, remember that story about a person he was trying to get away from a tiger that was at the bottom, and he was climbing up a vine, and there was something chewing on the vine and he was going to get eaten by that lion. And then there were some strawberries next to him, and he decided to just pick the strawberry and eat the strawberry. And I might have had that all wrong, but that's my version of it. And it's so cool because he was in the moment. And if forgiveness is seeing what's real about each and everything, what was so real in that moment was, that strawberry. And that,
Did you get into my gummies?
not why did that sound gummy-ish?
All right. Thank you everybody for your shares tonight. What a blessing. Joy we're gonna close with a prayer. So I ask you if Joy, you'll tell us to close the eyes and pretend we're all holding hands, right? Okay, all right. Go.
Okay.
All right.
This is how we end. And we used to, when we had a group in real life, and real life and together in the same room, we would hold hands. So we close our eyes. Perhaps we'll close our eyes now and imagine that we are holding hands. And you know how somewhere in the course he says that this is not an idle fantasy, and it's not an idle fantasy. We are connected. We feel that connection, that communion in this moment, right now, in this holy instant. And we feel we're in touch with our one self, with a capital S, that we share with one another and with our source. As Paula said, there's only one of us here. That one self. And from that place, we listen to Helen Schuckman. She has this beautiful poem I'll share right now. It's called The Singing Reed. My eyes would look upon the Son of God. For this I came, to overlook the world, and seeing it forgiven, understand its holiness is but the truth in me. The Christ walks forth in every step I take. God shines within me, lighting up the world in radiant joy. The Holy Spirit comes with me, lest I should turn and lose my way. For God has given me a goal to reach, and He has made certain that I cannot fail. And so He gave me eyes to see beyond appearances and shadows. I will see the Son of God exactly as He is. And in that sight is all the world transformed and blessed forever with the love of God. And so it is.
So it is.
And I got massive chills.
Thank you.
Massive chills.
That was beautiful.
To share that all of you.
Thank
Thank
that
you.
is cool. God bless
That was
you all.
beautiful.
Stay safe, stay warm, stay happy,
Mhm.
keep smiling,
Mhm.
tell jokes.
Thank you both.
Yeah, don't kill anybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Love you all.
See you
All
next
right.
week.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
My,
Bye.
I was supposed to apologize for the horse ending a couple of
Oh.
weeks ago because he said I showed my split personalities.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we all have one of those.
Oh, yeah. 2 or 3 of them at least.
Yes.
All right. Take care.